Hi there, welcome back. Today we'll look at expressions such as shall, will, who and what. At the end of this tutorial you'll be able to understand the future expressed by shall and will, integrative adjectives like whose, what and which, and integrative pronouns like who, whose, what and which. When we're talking in the future tense, we can use will, going to plus the infinitive or the present continuous. We use will when we are making decisions, promises or offers. Shall can also be used instead of will in questions. For example, shall we go to the cinema this evening? We also use will when we're talking about an event in the future that will probably happen, but we are not 100% sure. For example, I will probably go to France next year. We also use will when we're talking about something that is happening immediately. For example, if the phone is ringing, somebody might say, I'll answer it. So when do we use going to plus the infinitive? We use going to plus the infinitive when we're talking about plans in the future. For example, next weekend I'm going to the cinema with some friends. Now let's look at the present continuous. The present continuous is used in a similar way to going to plus the infinitive, but when we're being even more specific. When we have a plan that has an exact time and place. For example, I am arriving in London at Heathrow Airport at 7 p.m. Or, are you coming over to my house for dinner tomorrow evening? If you say, I will go, this makes the verb more emphatic, and the speaker usually stresses the verb will. Similarly, he shall go is more emphatic than he will go. However, it is very unusual to use shall in affirmative statements. Negatives would be shall, shan't, will, won't. Shall and will are nearly always shortened by use of the apostrophe, and you will always say in the shortened form double L, regardless of whether the positive is shall or will. For example, I shall go is I'll go. He will play, he'll play. We use I will, when we decide to do something at the time of speaking. Oh, I've left the door open, I'll go and shut it. What would you like to drink? I'll have an orange juice, please. Did you phone Jane? Oh no, I forgot, I'll phone her now. You cannot use the present simple, I do, I go, etc. in these sentences. I'll go and shut the door, not I go and shut. Do not use will to talk about what you have already decided or arranged to do. I'm going on holiday next Saturday, not I'll go. Are you working tomorrow? Not will you work. We often use will in the following situations. Offering to do something. That bag looks heavy, I'll help you with it, not I help. Agreeing to do something. Can you give Tim this book? Sure, I'll give it to him when I see him tomorrow. Promising to do something. Thanks for lending me the money. I'll pay you back on Friday. I won't tell anyone what happened, I promise. Asking somebody to do something. Will you please turn the radio down? I'm trying to concentrate. Use won't to say that somebody refuses to do something. I've tried to give her advice, but she won't listen. The car won't start, which means the car refuses to start. We use shall I or shall we to ask somebody's opinion, especially in offers or suggestions. Shall I open the window? Means, do you want me to open the window? I've got no money, what shall I do? Means, what do you suggest? Shall we go? Just a minute, I'm not ready. Or, where shall we go this evening? So now let's look at shall I versus will I. Shall I shut the door? Means, do you want me to shut it? Will you shut the door means I want you to shut it. Now, do you think you can manage activity number 1? Please read through the activity, choose the right form and pause the video. In the next slide you can see the answer keys. Please do not cheat and be fair on yourself. Well done with the activity. Next, let's move on to interrogative adjectives. Interrogative adjectives are used with nouns to ask questions. For example, whose books are those? Whose car is this? Which shirt shall I buy? Whose son is he? You'll notice that whose, what and which don't change whatever they refer to. They describe and question the noun, but are not affected by it. What and which are very similar in meaning, but on the whole, what asks a straight question, whereas which implies there is a choice. Let's quickly look at activity 2. Fill in the space with an interrogative adjective. There may be a choice. Please pause the video, and when you've finished, you can see the answers. Okay, now we can have a look at interrogative pronouns. An interrogative pronoun is a pronoun which is used to make asking questions easy. Each interrogative pronoun is used to ask a very specific question. Interrogative pronouns can also be used as relative pronouns, which may be found in questions. Use interrogative pronouns to form direct and indirect questions. Use a question mark at the end of a direct question and a full stop after an indirect question. The following pronouns are interrogative: who, what, whose, which, whom, whatever, whoever, whomever, and whichever. Though the above pronouns are certainly common enough, sometimes using them correctly can be a little tricky. Here are a few more tips to keep in mind when using interrogative pronouns. The pronouns who, whom, and sometimes which reference people. The pronouns what and which reference inanimate objects and animals. Who functions as a subject. Whom functions as an object of a preposition or object of a verb. For example, who are the signers of the Declaration of Independence? Who is the subject in this sentence? To whom did you give the note? Whom is the object of the preposition to? Whom do you suggest we nominate for class president? Here, whom is the object of the verb nominate. Who will design the new logo? Who is the object of the verb will design. Keep in mind these interrogative pronouns are frequently seen as relative pronouns, pronouns that link phrases and clauses together as well. The difference is that while it's possible to find a relative pronoun used in a question, interrogative pronouns only appear in a question. Interrogative pronouns ending ever. The interrogative pronouns with the suffix ever are used for emphasis or to show surprise. They're quite rare. For example, whoever would want to eat such a gross thing? Whatever did you say? Don't be vague with interrogative pronouns. For example, do not write or say, do you think they should raise taxes? Think about who does they refer to. Using interrogative pronouns and adjectives correctly isn't difficult once you understand the correct ways. Once you do, your writing and speaking becomes clearer and therefore more engaging to your audience. Now let's look at activity number 3. Fill in the spaces with an interrogative adjective. Again, you will find the answers in the next slide. Please don't cheat. Pause the video, answer the questions, and then check the correct answers with the keys.